Einen wunderschönen guten Tag und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Disco Elysium. Ah, das wird furchtbar jetzt, oder? Also es wird super unfurchtbar.
Good to see you, friend. Do I have deals set up for you, buddy boy?
Er breitet die Arme aus, als ob er dich umarmen möchte. Freut mich auch, mein Freund.
So what do you want? I got smokes. They're cheap. Very cheap. I got Pilsner. Great deal. You won't get a better deal on that piss. Spirits I can let go for 300 real. I also have speed. And by speed, I mean amphetamine.
Okay, das ist spannend, dass wir ihn einfach als erstes angesprochen haben und nicht einen von den anderen. Also 300 Real für Schnaps ist halt ein bisschen krass. Ich meine, wir haben auch unseren eigenen Alkohol dabei. Vielleicht können wir Speed kaufen, aber das wird absurd teuer sein, oder?
See? There it is, Bratushka! The spirit! Let's buy the spirit! 300 real is a lot, but this has to be done!
Du spürst, wie deine Krawatte dir vor Aufregung die Luft abschnürt. Die Spirituose. Kaufen wir die Spirituose.
It's our endgame!
Oh, das ist nur wieder so eine blöde Schnapsidee, die ich auf meine Krawatte projiziere. Das ist das Rätsel und die Wahrheit. Und ich muss Spirituosen kaufen. Ja, schon. Das sagen wir auch zu uns selbst.
Exactly! This is no ordinary drink! It's what our relationship has been building towards all these years! This is the climax, the mystery, the virginal sigh! That drink is special! You have to buy it from him! Get it off him! Kill him if you have to! Our ultimate fate depends on it! And the fate of many worlds!
Wir können uns halt im Leben nicht diesen Schnaps leisten. Blaue Heilspirituose? Ja, I doubt it. Warum kostet diese Spirituosenflasche 300 Real?
See, friend, it's real valuable. Worth every real, if you catch my drift. Got it from a bit of a business venture.
Du nickst und lässt ihn reden.
You know, it's funny actually.
Er fängt an zu lachen, trinkt 3 Schluck von seinem Pilsner und starrt dich gespannt an.
He's finding it difficult to focus his watery gaze.
Was denn?
What?
Wie, was? Was wolltest du gerade sagen? Was war lustig?
This guy.
Er sagt es und zeigt wiederholt mit seinem Zeigefinger auf dich.
Conversation might bring a discount, no?
Wo hast du diese Spirituosenflasche bekommen?
Oh, this is medicinal spirits. The good stuff. Got it from the doctor's office.
He ain't shitting you! Medicinal spirits are a blast, Bratan! The flaming truth of this joke of a world!
I got one of those scientific ampoules a few months ago. Torpedo, they call it. It's supposed to keep a man from taking a drink.
Er spuckte einen hässlichen gelben Klumpen auf den Boden vor deinen Füßen.
Didn't stop me for shit, that's for sure. 5 lemons with half a pack of butter and you're good to go.
Das ist ein guter Tipp, den sollte ich mir merken.
It really isn't. In a week, the goddamn kidneys started giving me all kinds of help. Finally, the missus took me to a private doctor's office. Not a charity, the real thing. Those arseholes charged me 4 real to remove the damn thing. But I came out on top after all.
Wir sollten sich schämen, Geld für eine Dienstleistung zu nehmen. Was für Arschlöcher. Okay. Wie hast du das geschafft?
The idiots left me alone in there. Now, I used to teach high school biology. I know what doctors use to preserve dead things. Like 3 cans of this blue medicinal stuff from the back room. Threw the snakes out and voila. What's left is this beautiful blue stuff. 98.7% almost pure alcohol.
Shit.
2 I already sold to these fine gentlemen here. But this last one is yours for 3 real, if you want it.
3 Real. Ich glaube, sie wird sich als nützlich erweisen, ja.
3 real and it's yours, friend. The deal of a lifetime.
Safe Call. Von 300 auf 3. Let's go. Auf jeden Fall. Hier ist das Geld.
Just make sure to enjoy that one, friend.
Ja, mal gucken.
Bratan, I am so proud! Now, whatever you do, don't drink it! This deserves so much more than just regular oral consumption!
The tie is so on the money there. Up the bum it goes.
Aber ich will sie mir nicht in den Arsch jagen. Okay, ja, wir jagen sie uns in den Arsch. Nein, machen wir nicht. Wir sterben, wenn wir das tun, Alter. Fuck, no.
Just wait for my sign. Keep it with you. Keep it warm. Keep it safe. Soon we will enter the other world.
Soon. The time will come soon. Have patience, brave one. I'm getting a really dark vibe from this. This won't be pretty.
Ja, Amphetamin?
Aye, by amphetamine I mean speed.
Ich dachte, mit Speed hättest du Amphetamin gemeint.
Aye, it's what I said.
Ah, verstehe, alles klar.
Good, my man. Now what can I offer you?
Boah, will ich jetzt 15 Real für Speed ausgeben? Ich bin versucht. Und ein Pilz? Das Pilz würde ich direkt trinken. Das Pilsen dann nehme ich halt auf jeden Fall. Da hast du ja kein schlechtes Unternehmen am Laufen.
Oh, the system's been good to old Rosemary here, and I'm milking her like a bitch goat in the backyard.
Wie meinst du das?
You see, friend, man makes his own luck, and I made mine real good. Got my hands on 3 bottles of liquor exquise, sold 2 to the fellows around here, and immediately invested the profit. Bought cigarettes, bought beer, even bought a bit of speed. And look at me now. I got everyone on my hook.
Er breitet die Arme aus und schenkt ihr ein schiefes, zahnloses Lächeln.
The hook. Where is it? I can't see it.
Dein Unternehmergeist ist beeindruckend. Du zeigst auf seine Karre der Sünden, also auf das Ding hier. Das heißt ich gut. Hast du eine Lizenz für dein armseliges kleines Gewerbe? Nein, das interessiert mich halt ein Scheiß. Sieht aus, als hättest du dich auch selbst angefixt.
Of course. It is what it is, you know. What it's always been. People, buddy boy. It's the people.
He has long forgotten what you were talking about.
Hier hast du das Geld für einen Pilsener.
Bottoms up, Captain.
Er reicht dir eine hässliche braune Flasche. Ich sehe mich bei dem Speed noch nicht. Die Schachtel kippen könnte praktisch sein. Warte, Moment, wer... Nee, da wollte ich gar nicht hin. My bad. Ich gehe da mal.
In the civilized world, it's a custom to tip the shopkeep, friend. But come back anyway.
Er winkt dir zum Abschied. Wir haben Kippen, ne? Ja, ich muss keine Kippen kaufen. Alles klar. Gut. Blaue Heilspirituose. Oh, können wir für 6 verkaufen. Machen wir sogar Gewinn. Diese Flüssigkeit hat einen überirdisch blauen Farbton. Du brennst sicher darauf, sie zu kosten. Das ist 98,7%iger Alkohol. Halte ihn von offenem Feuer fern. Boah, Alter. Zur Hölle würde ich das trinken, aber hey. Ich bin ja auch nicht Harry Dubois. Halte die Spirituose in der Hand und warte auf das Signal. Ja, mal gucken. Ich glaube, die will ich trinken, bevor wir Karaoke singen. Weiß ich noch nicht. Es wird einfach alles furchtbar. Ach, und jetzt ist die Quest abgeschlossen? Obwohl wir nicht mehr mit Garté gesprochen haben? Ich bin so verwirrt. Aber okay, gut, dass sie abgeschlossen ist. Alrighty. Wie geht's denn den anderen beiden hier so?
Hey, Tequila!
Scheiße. Ein Mann über 30 in einem zweiteiligen Lycra, Trademark, Trainingsanzug, stellt sein Pilsener ab und streckt dir zur Begrüßung die Hand entgegen.
Good to see you. How's business? How's the whole reality situation treating you?
Du schüttelst ihm die Hand.
So what's happening?
Er nimmt sein Bier in die Hand. Tequila?
Yeah, Tequila Sunset. How are the, high-concept, reality-based adventures proceeding?
Good. These people know your true name. Looks like it has preceded you, Mr. Sunset. More on that later.
I like this guy. You should too. He respects you by calling you your true name.
Läuft nicht so gut. Meine Pechsträhne dauert seit 50 Jahren an. Die Realität? Sie macht mich aggressiv, traurig. Weiß nicht, Leute erzählen mir, ich wäre ein Bulle. Langsam gewöhne ich mich dran. Ich bin wieder in die Realität abgetaucht, um sie zu erobern. Um sie meinem Willen zu beugen. Ich vertrete das Gesetz. Hat mich gefreut, dich kennenzulernen. Was macht die Realität mit uns? Ich weiß nicht, Leute erzählen mir, ich wäre ein Bulle. Langsam gewöhne ich mich dran.
It's good to hear that you're on top of things. Talking about used to, did you know that I used to be a real mover and shaker?
Nachdenklich wischt er sein... Bitte was? Nachdenklich wischt er seine kackverkrustete Lycra Trademark-Jacke ab.
Sadly, things aren't going that well in Idiot Doom's spiral land. Haven't found those keys yet, haven't won that great piece of ass back. No word from my business buddies.
Er trinkt einen Schluck von seinem Bier.
This guy's your buddy. You feel it immediately. You belong to an organization, a fraternity of drunks.
Was macht ihr hier?
We are saving the world.
Er wirft einen Blick auf seine Kumpane.
Please. Please don't go. Don't go.
Börtelt der Mann im Rohr.
Okay, we're drinking. We're drinking alcohol. That's what we're doing. I tried to save the world once, a long time ago, with enterprise, creativity, and willpower. But that didn't work out.
Es wäre halt richtig bitter, wenn er jetzt einfach eine von den Spieleentwicklern von diesem Funk-RPG wäre. Uff.
So now it's a pirate's life for me.
Was ist ein Tequila Sunset? Das sagst du ständig.
It's you. Your Tequila Sunset.
Woher weißt du das?
We've met before. Don't you remember?
Nein?
Aha. Do you want to know how Tequila Sunset came to be?
Auf jeden Fall.
Tequila Sunset. Something ominous there.
Aus irgendeinem Grund gibt mir der Name Tequila ein ungutes Gefühl. Vielleicht sollte ich nicht herausfinden, was er bedeutet. Doch, sag schon.
Let me take a sip to moisten up my chords. Tequila Sunset rolled into Martinez last Friday. And by Tequila Sunset, I mean you. The man, the myth.
Moment, sind wir uns am Freitag begegnet?
Hey, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. This is your story. Stop interrupting.
Er nimmt einen weiteren Schluck und fährt dann fort.
You got here on Friday to solve a case, hoping to be the early bird who gets the worm. And by the worm, I mean the buzz. Because as far as I know, all you did was get piss drunk. Word on the street is you went around the local hostel telling people that you're a police officer, and that it would be really fucked up if you shot yourself in the head right in front of them. That's pretty high concept if you ask me.
Oh yeah, that's totally your style.
Was, hast du nie versucht, dir vor ein paar wildfremden Leuten dein Hirn auf der Wand zu verteilen? Bitte, erzähl weiter. Ach ja, du bist nicht der Erste, der das erzählt. Ja, stimmt, das habe ich gemacht. Na und? Okay, mit dem ersten. Was, hast du etwa nie versucht, vor ein paar wildfremden Leuten dein Hirn auf der Wand zu verteilen?
Hey man, I'm not judging. This life's a valley of woes. Some of the highest concept people in history have killed themselves. And been drunks. Either way, it was a late Saturday night when we, the Union of Moribund Alcoholics, got our drink on. Nothing remarkable about this, we get our drink on 24/7. Makes everything warm and glowy. I trust you know the feeling.
Oh, yes, you do, Bratushka. The only thing better than that is putting the pedal to the metal after you kiss the tie. And
One moment we hear the sound of a motor carriage revving up somewhere on the plaza, followed by a series of dings and bangs.
Do you remember the sound of wood cracking? The billboard?
Naturally, loud noises pique the interest of anybody owning a pair of ears. That's just the reality we're in.
Natürlich.
Anyway, there was a brief silence, a gasp of silence, if you will, followed by a real commotion. We heard the carriage careening towards the coast at top speed. Sounded like someone jumped the canal. We grabbed our brewskis and rushed to the jetty. Never underestimate the speed of an alcoholic. What we saw was a sight to behold. A beat-up police carriage containing you. Right there on the beach, you revved the engine and screamed at the top of your lungs, "The time hath come!" So, naturally, being the curious cat I am, I asked what time hath come, to which you replied, "The time hath come for Tequila Sunset, the end of all things."
Oh Gott, was ist dann passiert? Du sagst nichts, so ist es würdevoller. Alles, was ich gesagt habe, stimmt. Tequila Sunset wird die Webstühle der Realität zerstören. Weiß ich nicht. Wenn ich betrunken wäre, würde ich sagen, aber weiß ich nicht. Was ist dann passiert?
Your reality contracted. You jammed the pedal, plowed right off the jetty, and through the ice.
Your hands cramp on the steering levers.
We ran towards the ice, whilst you crawled your way out, miraculously unhurt, covered in seaweed and shit, like some kind of sea monster. When we finally got there, you were sitting on the beach crying. You said that your badge and uniform were in the car. It was too late to get in there, though. The carriage had sunk too deep. Recognizing a brother in need, we offered our condolences and invited you to party with us, which you naturally agreed to.
What else was there to do? Thank you, brothers, for your helping hand.
We asked about the whole Tequila Sunset thing, and you told us it was your name now and insisted that we all call you that from then on.
Tequila Sunset, hm? Klingt eigentlich ziemlich gut.
Yeah, I agree.
Wie lange haben wir Party gemacht?
Hours. It was an all-night drink-a-thon. Then, at some point, I think it was Sunday morning, you got belligerent and wanted to talk about Revacholian women. How they're beautiful and also whores and so on. How one of them fucked you real bad. After a short while, you crossed the event horizon, looked sullen, got up, and left without saying anything.
Er hat den Bench gemacht. Einfach aufgestanden und gegangen, ohne was zu sagen. Sich irgendwo schlafen gelegt. Ja, traumhaft. Das ist mal eine Geschichte.
It was the greatest thing this fishing village has seen since Rosemary tried to use a crab to open his beer.
Aye, that were a classic too.
Habe ich euch was Bestimmtes über diese Person erzählt, die mich verarscht hat?
You were pretty vague about it, but you kept saying you got fucked real hard, and that we've all been fucked too.
Please, don't open that door.
Da verlieren wir Hitpoints, okay.
No one's fucked me. I do the fucking around here.
Abigail.
It seemed pretty painful, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, I'd say you're still working through some shit.
Habe ich erwähnt, dass ich noch was anderes verloren habe?
Beside your gun and your badge, you said something about your hope or heart or something. To be honest, the details are a little hazy. In retrospect, I guess you lost your motor carriage too? That's a big one.
Habe ich etwas über meine Kollegen gesagt?
You told us that they were a bunch of fucking losers whose main interest was cramping your style.
It's more like you were cramping theirs.
No specifics, though. It was more about you that night. You were the star of the show.
Habe ich was über den Fall gesagt?
Yeah, you said it was no biggie and that you'd solve it in no time. And that you didn't need anyone to do it. You're doing it solo now.
Tja, Haben wir über Politik geredet?
Yeah, you kept talking about how the coal mine owners were fucking us all over, just like that woman fucked you. I didn't agree with you, by the way. The spectral hand of the market makes sure everyone gets exactly what they deserve.
Scheiße. Es ist einfach Lindner. Die unsichtbare Hand des Marktes regelt das schon. Ah, shit. Konntest du abschätzen, was für ein Bulle ich war?
You kept apologizing for being such a bad cop and for the damage you inflicted on everyone around you. You also kept pausing to knock the heel of your hand against your temples, saying, "Stupid, stupid, stupid."
Okay, danke, ich habe genug gehört, glaube ich.
It's a hard thing for a man to confront his past. That's why I avoid mine at all costs.
Es scheint, dass du vor allem durch deine Fähigkeit als Geschichtenerzähler charakterisiert bist. Wie wär's, wenn du mir bei Gelegenheit nochmal eine erzählen würdest?
Whoop-de-doo. So now I'm a fucking storyteller. Right, why not? Better than a beach bum.
Ja. Willst du mir erzählen, wie du Mr. Abwärtsspirale geworden bist?
It depends, really. Are you willing to help me out?
The gleam in his eyes and the slouch in his posture is so incredibly familiar.
Was brauchst du denn?
Booze. Did you already forget our party? The thing I relayed to you earlier. So, have you got anything for good old idiot Doom Spiral? A bottle for a story. Seems fair to me.
Okay, ich könnte ihm das Pilsener geben. Ich habe hier was von dem besonderen Streikgebräu, das die Gewerkschaft konsumiert.
Interesting. Ah, this is what they use to keep the working man going.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Don't call Abigail.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George, but around here, you already know. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. a founder/junior partner at a high-concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high-concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
Moment, wie viele Leute haben für dich gearbeitet?
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours.
Hat das Joggen geholfen?
It did. With my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit.
Sagt er nachdenklich und wischt den Staub von seiner kackverkrusteten Hose. Was ist passiert?
One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
Er schüttelt die Flasche und ahmt das klirrende Geräusch nach.
His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see? At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
Wie nass genau?
Wet, okay? It was raining really hard.
Ein Anflug von Hohn schwingt in seiner Stimme mit.
I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass.
Ouch.
Ouch, indeed. Reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key.
Du willst mich wohl verarschen.
I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office.
Okay, und was ist dann passiert?
I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
Er machte eine bedeutungsvolle Pause.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in. Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh?
Moment mal, war das alles? Ich habe das Gefühl, da fehlen ein paar Schritte. Ich meine, du hättest einfach den Schlüsseldienst rufen können. Oder so.
Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now.
Dir ist schon bewusst, dass das alles allein deine Schuld ist?
I don't remember you being such a dick before, Tequila.
Er nimmt einen langsam niedergeschlagenen Schluck aus der Flasche und sieht dann zur Bucht hinaus, in Richtung der Wolkenkratzer von La Delta.
That doesn't mean you're wrong, though. Anyway, that was all the tale one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
Ich will nochmal die Geschichte über deinen Namen hören. Will ich das? Nein. Hast du noch mehr Geschichten?
I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift.
Ich hab grad nichts.
Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue imprisoned.
Ja, dann sieht man sich wohl später. Wobei, warum verlierst du ständig all deine Sachen?
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece Lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
Wie hieß deine Agentur?
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
Es ist keine Hochkunst für Werbezwecke, Ölgemälde mit Brüsten zu kombinieren. Das ist bloß zynisches Rumgewichse. Das ist so hochkonzeptuell, dass ich keine Ahnung habe, was es bedeutet. Mann, hohe und niedere Kunst zu vermischen. Das Kommodifizieren von Kultur. Da stehe ich total drauf. Ja, ich hätte nicht fragen sollen. Nee, es ist schon einfach bloß zynisches Rumgewichse. Sorry.
Well, you know, sex sells. That's the first rule of advertising.
Mag sein, aber lahm ist es trotzdem.
Maybe you're right. Who knows? Maybe we were behind the curve? We were fucking rich, though. That much I know.
Warum der Trainingsanzug?
What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before? Go on. Feel that primo material.
Ich weiß nicht, ob ich das anfassen möchte.
You really shouldn't touch it.
Ich bewundere ihn einfach aus der Ferne, danke.
That might be the right idea. This here is one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly. Can't get it anymore. It was too primo, even for Grodd.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosemary. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time.
Was ist mit den anderen Betrunkenen?
My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like.
Hey, Tequila! You want to buy some speed?
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember?
I thought he was a cool cop.
Don't call Abigail.
And this is Abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together.
Was war das mit der Jacke, die du verloren hast?
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila?
Moment. Du bittest einen Polizisten, eine Jacke, die du gestohlen hast und dann verloren hast, wiederzufinden?
Yeah, exactly. You're here to serve, right?
Okay, klar. Wo hast du sie verloren?
If I knew where I lost it, don't you think I'd have it? I mean, maybe I was up by the boardwalk, or walking along the beach, or checking out the abandoned fish market.
Das sind ziemlich viele verschiedene Orte.
Somewhere north of here, that's for sure. You could ask around, see if anyone's seen it.
Ah ja, ich schau mal.
I'm all ears, Tequila.
Man sieht sich.
You too, Tequila Sunset.
Don't call Abigail.
Grummelt ein unrasierter Mann mit einer roten Nase. Bei deinem Anblick kneift er die Augen zusammen, als ob er dich erkennen würde, und dreht seinen Kopf dann weg.
The noxious odor emanating from the drunken man is strong and familiar.
Don't you call her? Yeah! Don't call Abigail!
Wer ist Abigail?
Uh-huh. Abigail. Don't you fucking call Abigail.
Abigail is his wife or girlfriend. Chances are she's gone. Calling her wouldn't make it any better or worse. Never thought you'd see such a thing in your life, but this guy's a little too drunk.
Wer bist du? Wie heißt du?
Don't call Abigail!
Wo bin ich? Was ist das hier?
The man hiccups, then mumbles something unintelligible.
Warum soll ich Abigail nicht anrufen?
He snorts and beckons you to lean in closer.
Du beugst dich zu ihm herunter.
Don't call Abigail. Don't call Abigail.
Sein Atem riecht übel, wie ein giftiger Sumpf. Dann wedelt er mit der Hand, als ob er dich verscheuchen wollte. Erzähl mir von deinen Freunden.
Don't you fucking call her! Hear me! Abigail?
Gut, ich glaube, wir gehen. Ich verlange, dass du meine Fragen beantwortest. Das würde er halt einfach... Nein, das würde er halt einfach nicht machen.
Don't call Abigail.
Okay. Noch 2 Erfahrungspunkte. Sehr schön. 2 Fähigkeitenpunkte. Finde die Jacke. Okay. Also wir können immer noch Speed kaufen. Ich würde gerne den Strand ein bisschen hochgucken. Ich würde aber auch ganz gerne einmal ins Hafenviertel reisen wollen. Und nochmal ein bisschen mit Leuten sprechen. Haben wir jetzt eigentlich die Pheromone drauf? Ich bin mir unsicher. Haben wir das letzte Folge gemacht?
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you wasting your time?
Gut. Ich will auf jeden Fall mit ihr reden.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Ich bin ihrem Mann an der Küste begegnet.
Goodness, how is he? Did he say why he hasn't returned yet?
Es geht ihm gut. Wie ich mir schon gedacht hatte, konnte er nicht eher zurückkommen, weil die Kanalschleuse kaputt war. Jetzt muss er nur noch seine Arbeit beenden.
Oh, yes. That's my Morel. He's bound to catch a cold staying out there for so long. But I am so relieved to hear that he's okay. Thank you for putting an old woman's heart at ease, if even a little.
You haven't, however. There are dangers out there. Our aging bodies fail. Her heart won't rest until Morel is safely back with her.
Sie haben mir gar nicht erzählt, dass Sie die Phasmide gesehen haben.
Oh, you don't want to hear about some old woman's ramblings.
Doch, ich will es wirklich wissen.
Well, it was summer. I was building a racing track out of sand on the beach near a tall stand of reeds. Quite a tall one. Many times my height, I remember. When, all of a sudden...
Moment. Wo war das und wie alt waren Sie da?
I'm getting ahead of myself. I was 5.5 in Betancourt in the suburbs. My grandmother had a summer home there.
Okay, was ist dann passiert?
The strangest moment of my life. I looked up and one of the reeds moved. Not like a plant, but like a living thing. It stood up and looked at me. Its body unfolded like some antique toy. I've never seen anything like it.
She had no fear, just surprise.
I didn't know this can happen, so I reached my arm and touched the thing. It felt just like a stalk of reed, but it moved, swaying, towering above me. After a while, 20 seconds, a minute maybe, it left, went into the reeds.
Sind Sie ihr gefolgt?
I tried, but I was only a child. There was mud and high water. I couldn't see it anymore. I was just standing there, knee-deep in mud, looking around me.
Where did you go? Don't go.
Und dann?
I ran back home to my grandmother and asked her if reeds could walk, and told her they were looking at me. Of course, she just laughed at me, but I knew what I'd seen. For years, it was a story I told at parties when I wanted to impress boys. That sort of thing. Of course, most people just took it as a strange, amusing anecdote. So did I, honestly. But then I met Morel. We were on our first date when I told him my story. You should have seen his face. He said my descriptions matched the phasmid down to a T. Its white marble limbs, the way it moved.
So that's how they met. This is beyond significant for them.
Sie hatten eine Verabredung?
Our first, yes.
Die Gliedmaßen der Phasmide sind weiß?
Not all of them, as far as I remember. Some of them, on the inside like stalks of marble, if that makes sense.
Wie groß war sie? Ungefähr?
It's hard to say how big things are when you're quite small yourself. To me, it seemed to be taller than I was then, but that's probably not the case.
Danke, dass Sie mir die Geschichte erzählt haben.
You're welcome, sweetie. I do appreciate the chance to relive it whenever I get one. It was just such an impossibly sunshiny day. So warm.
And she could get up and walk right into the reeds on her own, into the mud, anywhere.
Gatte.
Can I help you?
Gatte, ich habe einen neuen Vogel fürs Whirling gefunden. Du gibst ihm das Kragenhuhn.
What is this thing?
Ist keine große Sache. Ich dachte nur, es würde an der Wand hübsch aussehen. Die Art von Bulle bin ich halt.
What, the interior decorating kind? You know, I'm sorry. This is actually a nice bird. A competent piece of taxidermy. I can fix it to the plaque and have a new bird in the establishment, I guess. So, I don't know. Thank you. I'm gonna go with thank you.
People just don't know how to accept gifts, especially taxidermy. He likes it. He likes the bird. It solves his broken bird problem. This was mostly about the fucking cardio. Massive cardio here. You'll live till 90, or you get a heart attack from running.
Okay. Keine Ahnung, was die Ausdauer hier jetzt will, aber okay. Whatever. Wegen meiner Rechnung für heute Nacht.
You're already set for the night. Your door is unlocked.
Ich dachte, ich könnte kündigen. Ja, wohl nicht. Dann schlafen wir heute Nacht noch hier, wenn wir schon bezahlt haben. Alrighty. Wir erledigen eine Menge Stuff. Das ist ganz gut. Gut, 18 Uhr. Zeit für eine kleine Schnellreise. Muss ich aber erst aus dem Gebäude raus. Okay. Vielleicht will ich auch gar nicht schnell reisen. Vielleicht erwische ich noch... Hallo.
Every snowflake is like a little gift from the sky.
Okay. Ich werde jetzt etwas schlussfolgern, um dir zu beweisen, dass ich wirklich ein Detektiv, ein Cop, ein Officer bin.
You failed to
Come
produce
on.
anything substantial.
Es ist doch nicht sehr...
She waits intently.
Ich bin Detective. Daher schlussfolgere ich, dass du sehr klein bist.
Come on, don't be silly. That's not a proper deduction.
Es ist einfach unfassbar, ne? Gut, ciao. Schlussfolgern wir halt nichts. Fuck this. 92% am Arsch.
The purity of snow always reminds me of the purity of a man's soul, if he's got principles.
Ist mir jetzt auch egal, probieren wir jetzt einfach. Wie kommt es, dass dieser alte Soldat so stolz dasteht?
All you observe is a veteran refusing to let go of the past and his old uniform. This is not uncommon.
This is the uniform of the Royal Carabineers in service of Fissel I, Guillaume le Lion, and the valiant King Philip V before him.
Don't you mean Fristel the Fan?
You do not speak his name, Craven, although he was a clown. But he was our clown, ours to ridicule and to mourn.
There's something you missed. You'll get to it. Don't worry.
Naja, sehe ich noch nicht. Okay, cool. That didn't work out. Und dann würde ich mal hierher reisen wollen. Wait. Wir waren hier noch gar nicht, ne? Du kannst dir vorstellen, warum. Manchmal nehmen Anrufe einen schrecklichen Verlauf. Was? Was kann ich mir vorstellen? Eigentlich wollte ich hier hoch. Ich dachte, das wäre die Kirche, aber das ist gar nicht die Kirche.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Du versuchst deinen Blick in das Innere zu werfen.
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it. And a small layer of white salt from the sea.
Dann schließen wir den Gedanken wohl ab. Bedauerlich.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Morgen ist nur ein Flüstern entfernt.
Ah, yes. Their famous motto. A fine example of technological optimism from...
Er sagt etwas, aber der pfeifende Wind übertönt seine Worte. Wir wenden uns ab. Ich spreche gleich mit denen. Vorher gibt's Loot. Ein weiterer Verteilerkasten. Der versorgt nichts mehr mit Strom. Er ist leer. Der Zaun versperrt den Weg. Hier geht es nicht weiter. 5 Real. Und ein Heil-Item. I'll take that.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
Ein blonder Mann steht neben seinem Sohn und deutet auf die verwitterten Ruinen. Er sieht dich näher kommen und lächelt.
You, officer, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I was just telling my son about this building. Not many people appreciate the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Was war das vorhin mit den Fenstern?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Irgendwie... Alles klar, Sie hatten vom Gebäude erzählt. Reden Sie weiter.
Very important. Mikhail, say hi to the officer.
Er legt seine Hand auf die Schulter des Jungen. Das Kind bleibt hinter dem Mantelsaum seines Vaters versteckt und klammert sich an sein Malbuch, das von Lindwürmern handelt.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into worms lately. But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Das frage ich mich auch. Was ist an einem leeren alten Gebäude so faszinierend?
Aha, but it's not just any empty old building.
Er hebt seine Hand, um seine Augen vor dem eiskalten Schnee zu schützen. Zu dritt wendet ihr euch dem Wandbild vor euch zu.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Wofür steht F&E?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development. They don't use it anymore.
Er strahlt. Um seine Augen zeichnen sich Lachfältchen ab.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
Du siehst dir das Gebäude an, das vor dir aufragt.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
Ich glaube nicht, dass ich von Feld Electrical schon mal gehört habe.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
Er rückt seine Jacke zurecht.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
Was war das für ein Ass?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
Ein Datenbankcomputer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer. Which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
Er grinst und bewundert dabei den Satz, den er soeben hervorgebracht hat.
He assumes something like a combat stance, facing the wind.
Was ist passiert?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Der Junge wischt sich die Nase an seinem Ärmel ab.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes. Possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
Er macht eine Pause und zeigt mit dem Finger auf das andere Gebäude. Dann fährt er fort.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
Sie sagen, dass Feld Electrical diese Promenade gebaut hat?
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A wheel!
Der Kleine sieht sehnsüchtig gen Horizont, als würde sich vor seinem inneren Auge Gondeln in den Himmel erstrecken.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
Was ist mit den Ingenieuren passiert? Mit den Mitarbeitern?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
Okay, was haben die Revolutionäre mit diesen fortschrittlichen Datenbankcomputern gemacht?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
Während er spricht, blickt sein Sohn zu ihm hoch und knabbert träge an der Ecke seines Malbuchs, das sich um Lindwürmer dreht. Was ist Le Décret de Mars?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02. It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album Bombecer dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Wie haben diese Datenbankcomputer funktioniert? So wie Funkcomputer?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
Er erinnert sich an etwas und streckt einen Finger nach oben.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team, trying to...
Wait, did he just say Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center?
Da bin ich auch hängen geblieben.
He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay. Das Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center? Paul Ockerman? Keith and Guy Jost? Wovon reden Sie überhaupt?
The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
Jetzt mal ehrlich. Es gibt doch kein Kunstzentrum namens Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center.
In fact, I'm not. The Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Toll.
Very, very cool. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to this precious device. But so they did. The felt playback experiment vanished into the fires of 07.
Moment, das Feldwiedergabe-Experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Felt Playback Experience, but those are incorrect.
Warum haben die Revolutionäre es zerstört?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
Er weicht einen Schritt zurück. Die Promenade ächzt traurig im Wind.
But of course, what else?
Ich will noch etwas über das Feldgebäude erfahren, glaube ich.
Sure. What's on your mind?
Nein, will ich nicht.
But of course.
Okay.
What else?
Sie sehen wohlhabend aus. Haben Sie Geld?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
Er tut so, als wäre es keine große Sache.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
Ich möchte Ihr Geld auch gar nicht. Ich wollte nur sehen, ob meine Profiling-Fertigkeiten noch intakt sind.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact.
Er sieht nach oben und eine neckische Andeutung blitzt in seinen Augen auf.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
Gut, danke für all die interessanten Informationen.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikael here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Der Typ weiß unfassbar viel und hat einfach null Empathie. Aber wir haben einen Gedanken gewonnen. Nämlich das Wumpty Dumpty Dump Center. Es ist Mittwochabend und etwas abscheulich Aufregendes passiert gerade. Eine Menschenmenge hat sich unter dem wogenden Dach eines seltsam geformten, protzigen Gebäudes versammelt. Die Leute trinken Wein und tauschen Meinungen aus. Die Stars der Show sind die beiden Wunderzwillinge Guy und Keith Jost, 29, mit ihren Fliegerjacken und weißen Sneakers, die leitenden Kuratoren dieser Ausstellung. Das ist das Wumpty Dumpty Dummigste Event des Jahres. Und jeder, der etwas auf sich hält, hat zugesagt. Wo bist du, wenn du nicht dort bist? Überzeugt mich auch erstmal nicht so. Wir müssten noch einen weiteren Slot lernen. Ich würde halt eher noch öde Realität lernen. Einfach, weil es bald 20 Stunden dauert und bestimmt einen guten Bonus bringt. Lebensweise auf Magnesium umbauen ist vielleicht auch nicht so die beste Idee. Mal gucken. Gut, dann sind wir hier in der Ecke, glaube ich, durch, oder? Geht hier noch was? Sieht nicht so aus. Da ist die Jacke wieder, da waren wir schon. Okay. Dem können wir wahrscheinlich immer noch nichts. Also wir könnten immer noch wen. Lass mal gucken, ob wir Abigail anrufen können. Einfach nur.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Du nimmst den Hörer ab. Woher habe ich eigentlich so viel Geld? Wann habe ich so viel Geld bekommen? Hat uns GT das gegeben? Für das Huhn? Ich habe keine Ahnung. Wir nehmen den Hörer ab.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Du wirfst 10 Cent ein und wählst eine zufällige Nummer. 0052403
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this?
Nein, aber ich tue es trotzdem.
End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre, is that you, Pierre?
Die weibliche Stimme am anderen Ende hört sich an, als wäre sie 100 Jahre alt. Boah. Boah. Nee, wir machen hier keine falschen Hoffnungen. Nein, ich bin nicht Pierre.
You have any news about Pierre?
Wer ist Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man.
Holy shit.
But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
Die Frau stöhnt und die Telefonleitung schließt sich ihrem Geheule an. Entschuldigung, ich war gerade von massiv Blaulicht und Martinshorn draußen abgelenkt. Ich bin kein Verkäufer. Ich habe nur eine zufällige Nummer gewählt und Sie haben abgenommen. Ja, ich bin Verkäufer. Was genau haben wir Ihrem Land denn angetan? Ich weiß nicht, wer ich bin. Aber wer sind Sie? Nein, ich bin Polizist. Ich schwanke zwischen 3 und 4. Ich weiß nicht, wer ich bin, aber wer sind Sie?
I was a baroness.
Natürlich.
Pause. There is silence on the other end.
You won't get me, and you won't get my money.
Phone hanging up.
Okay.
Disconnect tone.
Gut, wir rufen mal niemand anders an. Das können wir bestimmt noch eine Weile machen und da kommt bestimmt irgendwas Gutes bei rum, aber nicht jetzt. Wir machen das irgendwann noch. Da habe ich ein bisschen Bock drauf. Also wahrscheinlich gegen Tages... Ich weiß noch nicht wann. Ich würde mich hier ein bisschen umsehen wollen, aber das machen wir in der nächsten Folge. Bis dahin, vielen Dank fürs Zugucken, angenehmen Tag noch und ja, bis zur nächsten Folge. Macht's gut, haut rein und tschüss.